All right, guys, Honda just dropped something that has the car community absolutely buzzing. And honestly, it's been a long time coming. The Prelude is back. The Honda Prelude. And before you say anything, yes, it's real this time. No more concepts, no more teasers. The 2026 Honda Prelude Hybrid is officially here. And today, we're going deep on everything you need to know about it. Now look, if you're under 25, you might be wondering what the big deal is. But if you grew up in the 80s or 90s, the name Prelude means something. It was Honda's premium sport coupe. Sleek, stylish, sporty. It was the car you wanted in the driveway when everyone else had a Civic. Honda discontinued it back in 2001, and for over 2 decades, fans have been asking, begging really, for Honda to bring it back. And now, 25 years later, they finally did. Let's start with how it looks, because honestly, the design is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. The 2026 Honda Prelude Hybrid is a 2-door sport coupe, and that alone makes it rare in today's market. Everything is a crossover or an SUV right now, so just the fact that Honda went with a proper coupe silhouette is a statement. It's low, it's wide, and it carries this aggressive yet refined look that feels very much in line with modern Honda design language. Up front, you've got sharp LED headlights, a wide lower grille opening, and this clean, almost minimalist front fascia that doesn't try too hard. It's not screaming for attention, it earns it. The roofline flows beautifully into the rear, where it kicks up with a subtle integrated spoiler. The whole thing has this almost fastback quality to it. And the side profile? It's got character. There's a sharp shoulder line, nicely flared arches, and it rides on a set of alloy wheels that look like they actually belong on a sport coupe rather than being an afterthought. It's not a wild, flashy design. Honda clearly wanted the Prelude to feel grown up and premium, and I think they nailed that balance. This is a car that looks special without looking like it's trying to compensate for anything. Now let's get into what's powering this thing, because this is where Honda made some really smart choices. The 2026 Honda Prelude Hybrid runs a 2.0-liter 4-cylinder hybrid powertrain. And before you groan and say, oh, it's just a boring eco car, hear me out. This isn't just any hybrid setup. Honda took the 2-motor hybrid system that's already proven itself in the Accord Hybrid and tuned it specifically for the Prelude. Total system output comes in at around 200 horsepower, which in a coupe of this size feels genuinely peppy. But here's the part that's really clever. Honda added paddle shifters that simulate gear changes. So even though it's a continuously variable transmission underneath, you can row through 6 artificial gears and get that connected, engaged feel that enthusiast drivers actually want. It sounds small on paper, but in practice, it makes a huge difference to how the car feels to drive. It's the difference between a commuter appliance and something you actually look forward to getting behind the wheel of. And fuel economy? You're looking at somewhere in the low to mid-40s miles per gallon range. For a sport coupe, that is exceptional. You're getting a fun-to-drive 2-door that won't destroy your wallet at the pump. That's a win-win that doesn't come along very often. Here's something that surprised me when I first read the specs. Honda built the Prelude's chassis around the Civic Type R, not inspired by, literally based on. The suspension setup borrows directly from one of Honda's most hardcore performance machines, and that tells you everything about how they want this car to feel on the road. It's firm, it's communicative, and it puts you in touch with what the car is doing in a way that most hybrids simply don't. There's double wishbone suspension all around, which is a setup you typically find on sports cars costing twice as much. The steering is well weighted and direct. The whole car has this low center of gravity thanks to the hybrid battery placement, which actually works in favor of handling dynamics. Honda didn't just badge a Civic and call it a sports coupe. They genuinely engineered this thing to behave like one. Step inside and the Prelude continues to impress. The interior is shared heavily with the Civic, which sounds like a criticism until you realize the current Civic's cabin is genuinely excellent. Clean layout, premium materials for the price point, and everything is logically placed. The Prelude adds its own sporty touches. Heavily bolstered front bucket seats that hold you in place during cornering, a leather-wrapped steering wheel with those paddle shifters we talked about, and an overall vibe that feels driver-focused. The centerpiece is a large touchscreen running Google built-in, which means Google Maps, Google Assistant, and the whole ecosystem is natively integrated, not just tacked on via Android Auto. It's genuinely smart and intuitive. Physical controls for climate are still there. Honda knows their audience, so you're not hunting through submenus just to turn the heat up. Now, about the back seat. It's a 2+2 layout, meaning there are rear seats, but let's be honest, they're better suited for small kids or overnight bags than actual adults. That's the trade-off with a coupe roofline, and Honda makes no apologies for it. It's a driver's car first. Safety front, Honda hasn't cut any corners. Honda Sensing, the company's full suite of active safety tech, is standard on every single trim. That includes adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, automatic emergency braking, and blind spot monitoring. Every trim, right from the base. In a market where automakers still charge extra for basic safety features, that's genuinely refreshing. Let's talk money, because this is where things get really interesting. The 2026 Honda Prelude Hybrid starts at around $31,000. Top trim is expected to land in the $37,000 to $38,000 range. Think about what that means for a second. You're getting a proper sport coupe, hybrid powertrain, Type R-derived chassis, and a premium interior for under 40 grand. Name another coupe that offers that combination at that price. I'll wait. For context, a Toyota GR86 starts around the same price but has no hybrid efficiency. A Subaru BRZ is in the same ballpark, but again, pure gas. The Prelude comes in and offers something genuinely different, performance-oriented and efficient. That's a rare combo. So, how does it compare to the old one? Look, nothing is going to perfectly replicate the nostalgia of the old Prelude. The original had a naturally aspirated VTEC engine, a manual transmission option, and this raw mechanical feel that was very much of its era. The new one is obviously a completely different kind of car, but I'd argue it captures the spirit of what the Prelude was always supposed to be, a Honda that's a step above the Civic, that prioritizes the driver, that makes you feel like you got something special. The original Prelude was Honda showing off. It was the brand saying, look what we can do. And honestly, the 2026 model is doing the same thing, just with modern technology instead of old-school engineering. The original didn't have 40 miles per gallon and Google Maps built into the dash. Times change. The attitude hasn't. Look, I know hybrid coupes aren't exactly the most exciting category on paper, but what Honda has done here is create something that feels genuinely special in a market full of crossovers and SUVs. They brought back a beloved nameplate, gave it real performance credentials, made it efficient, and priced it accessibly. That's a tough needle to thread, and from everything we've seen and heard so far, they've threaded it. Is it perfect? We'll reserve final judgment until we get proper drive time in it. But right now, the 2026 Honda Prelude Hybrid is one of the most compelling new cars of the year, full stop. If you've been waiting for Honda to give you a reason to get excited again, this might be it. If you're as excited about this as I am, drop a comment below. Let me know if you'd get one, what color, what trim. And if you want more deep dives on the best cars coming out in 2026, hit subscribe because we've got a lot more coming. Until next time, keep driving something you actually love.